Live from the BDN Studios, it's Bang and Dang.
That's awesome.
If you don't like that, then
You ain't black.
Welcome back to Outlaws and Gunslingers with your host Bang and Dang, back for some more true crime. After wrapping up our Mafia of the Month episode last week, which was about Albert Anastasia.
Yeah, we heard about him
And the Gambino
a lot.
start of the post-Castella Marizzi Gambino family, which was, Albert. Guy got away with a lot of murders.
Yeah.
That's what happens when all the witnesses disappear. Mafia of the Month. Once a month.
Finish what we started, damn
Finish
it.
what we started eventually, damn it. FYI, if you guys leave a review and you can't even spell words properly, we're probably not going to listen to you. We're talking about David Camm.
Camm. I don't think I heard this guy.
I don't know if anybody has heard of this guy, but he's got a sort of a connection to something we did before. If you guys recall the Shonda Scherer case.
That was a rough one.
He,
Wait, was that the one that got beat up?
yeah,
Burned. Oh my gosh. That was, if you guys didn't listen to that one.
This guy, David Camm, was a former trooper of Indiana State Police who was the responding officer to the call of Shanda's body being found. But that's not what he's here for, because he is accused of killing his wife and 2 young children.
Maybe he had like PTSD or something for seeing that gruesome scene.
Well, he was tried 3 different times and eventually acquitted, because you guys will see that these prosecutors in this case possibly could be the most corrupt or just the most ignorant prosecutors and court judicial system I've ever seen in my life.
The FBI get involved?
No.
Oh, damn.
You'll see. Every trial, they just tried to make up the most baloney bullshit. It gets crazy. It gets crazy.
So which means they know who actually did the murders?
Well, there's a...
And trying to hide it or something?
Just put it this way. There's a trial where he gets convicted, and then he appeals, and then they find more evidence of another DNA being there, and they arrest another guy, and then it's a whole shit show. Just put it that way. And we'll get into that. Before I go, check out our YouTube channel at Bang Dang Podcast, where you get clips, shorts, YouTube exclusive Dart League, and full podcast episodes of all of our podcasts that we do. Spotify, Apple, give us a review, comment how much you love our true crime episodes and our mafia episodes, if you will. Right. David Ray Camm is a former trooper of United States, Indiana State Police, who spent 13 years in prison after twice being wrongly convicted.
Damn, that's ridiculous.
They claim that he killed his wife, Kimberly, and there's 2 children at their home in Georgetown, Indiana, September 28, 2000.
I don't remember this at all. I don't think I ever heard anything like this.
There's another guy. His name's Charles Boney. We'll get to Boney. Phony baloney Boney. That's what we're going to call him, because that's what he is. Police were summoned to the Camm residence shortly after 9:30 p.m. September 28th, 2000 to find Kim Bradley and Jill Camm shot to death in the garage of their home.
Damn.
Camm told police he returned home from playing basketball at a nearby church and found his wife shot to death on the garage floor.
Oh, shit. Can you imagine? Wow. He then saw his daughter, Jill, sitting upright in the back seat, still strapped in her seatbelt. Brad was draped over the driver's side of the back seat, as though he had been trying to get away from the assailant. Since both Kim and Jill had been shot through the head, Camm stated that he thought his son, who had no head injury, might still be alive, so he entered the passenger front of the Bronco, went through the front bucket seats and grabbed his son, taking him out, putting him on the garage floor, and giving him CPR. In the process, Camm had placed his left knee in the middle of the back seat, causing Jill's head and body to slump forward and to the left, contacting Camm's T-shirt.
Oh.
Wow. Bradley Camm.
Well, that's going to come into play.
Right. Bradley Camm was found lying on the garage floor, and a later autopsy found he had been shot through his torso, severing his spine.
Jeez, dude.
Jeez, how old are these kids?
Young.
Man.
Unseen in the darkened garage and not collected by evidence technicians for some reason. The first time they searched was a gray sweatshirt bearing the name of Backbone in the collar. An ISP lab analyst later found unidentified female DNA on the front of the shirt, and a private lab hired by Camm's defense attorney found unidentified male DNA in the collar.
What?
The blood and DNA of Kim Camm has also been discovered on the same sweatshirt.
Really?
Many false leads hampered the investigation of the murders. The theory of the crime at the time of the arrest was that Camm returned home from basketball, shot his family, attempted to clean up before giving up, apparently, and calling the police and posting for help.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's already a weak theory.
Right. Oh, Rob Stites. He's a crime scene photographer. He believed by the police to be a blood spatter analyst. Told police there was a cleanup at the crime scene. And
What does that mean?
Right.
Who was believed by the police to be a blood spatter analyst?
We think he is.
Right.
Jeez. He said that it looks like the crime scene was cleaned up and high velocity impact splatter on the shirt Camm was wearing. Another piece of seemingly incriminating evidence was a phone bill indicating Camm had made a phone call from the residence at 7:19 p.m. on the evening of the moida. He claimed to be playing basketball at the church from 7 p.m. to approximately 9:30 that very evening. Camm also had a history of infidelity, which police believed was the motive for the moitas. So how did he make a phone call at 7:19?
Well, before long, the erroneous nature of several pieces of evidence was revealed. While the infidelity accusations were credible, it was discovered that most of the rest of the evidence on the probable cause affidavit was either inaccurate or unreliable. Based on the autopsies and other evidence, the time of death was determined to be around 8 p.m., far earlier than the original estimate of 9:30 p.m.,
They tried to do
which gave Camm an alibi.
All right.
The phone call that seemed to prove Camm was lying about his alibi was disproven as well. Phone company discovered the inaccuracy stemmed from the confusion regarding Indiana's complicated time zones.
Oh, how complicated is it?
Which the call was actually made at 6:19 p.m.,
Right.
which he was not at basketball yet.
Oh, wow. The cleanup at the crime scene had a blood spatter on David's shirt were also questioned. It was discovered that there was not, in fact, a crime scene cleanup, but the usual separation of blood when exposed to air for a while.
Dude, that's already the first thing I'm questioning. Who are these people looking at the crime scene?
Right.
And how many crime scenes have they been on?
Right, especially when the police say they believe this guy is
Do we think this guy's a blood spatter expert? Who knows?
Oh, my goodness.
That's what his business card said.
Geez. Several other areas that Stites had claimed to be high-velocity impact spatter found at the crime scene were inaccurate, calling into question Stites' abilities.
You think?
I would say so. Investigators stated that they investigated the foreign DNA on the sweatshirt found at the crime scene. However, there were no matches when it was run through the CODIS.
CODIS, FBI, everybody's DNA's in there pretty much, except for this guy's apparently. Right. The discovery that the time of the murder was over an hour earlier than previously thought meant Camm now had a solid alibi, not just an alibi. 11 witnesses told police he was with them playing basketball from 7 till after 9.
Nice.
The police changed their theory of the crime from murder following the basketball game to one in which he sneaked out of the basketball game, committed the murders, and then slipped back in without being noticed, because that would even be remotely possible.
Why are they on him so much? What did he know?
I don't know.
What did
he was
know?
a former officer, so...
The case went to trial spring 2002 with the blood spatter as the main forensic evidence. How? And the affairs listed as the motive. What? The prosecution argued that the bloodstains on Camm's shirt were the result of a high-velocity impact spatter, proving that he was the shooter. Defense experts assert that the pattern was caused by transfer when his shirt had contact with Jill's hair as he was removing his son from the vehicle. Bart Epstein, a bloodstain analyst for the defense, stated that there's some overlap between the appearance of different types of stains of blood splatter, and analysts need to consider other aspects of the stain to determine the cause.
You would think.
Right.
That's how you kind of got to rule everything out, but apparently not.
Seems like he knows what he's talking about.
Well, in this case, the number of blood stains is as relevant as their size and shape. He says gunshot will produce hundreds of stains coming back. I've never seen. I believe the other experts for both the prosecution and the defense have indicated that they've never seen just 7 small or 8 small stains from a gunshot. I've never seen that, said Epstein. During the trials, Epstein and another blood analyst demonstrated how the blood stains could have gotten on the shirt by running T-shirts over wigs containing blood. Similar patterns to the one on Camm's shirt were indeed produced. Nevertheless, he was convicted.
How?
They had a vendetta against this guy.
Did he have a jury?
Yeah.
What the hell? August, year 2004. Indiana Court of Appeals overturned the conviction. The court cited the trial judge's decision to allow testimony from a dozen women who claimed they had affairs with Camm or had been propositioned by him, which unfairly biased the jury because the prosecutor didn't adequately connect those relationships with the murder.
Right. Why would he kill? I mean, I guess, but that's so stupid.
Wow. November 2004. Prosecutor Keith Henderson refiled charges against Camm.
They just want him in jail.
This is just, they want that case solved. That's all they want.
Early 2005, the defense asked that DNA from 2 unknown persons found on the sweatshirt be run through CODIS again.
Why wasn't it the first time?
It was. Remember, they didn't find nobody.
Right.
Defense lawyers claimed the prosecution refused until they were finally compelled to by a court order.
Why not?
A match was found for the male DNA, and it was discovered that the particular DNA sample was never run prior to the first trial.
Oh, my.
Despite assurances from the prosecutor that the sample had been analyzed and returned no matches.
Oh, that's mistrial, so you can never trial again.
Why is this guy even the prosecutor still?
Wow.
Oh, it gets worse.
A fellow named Charles Bonnet, or Boney, a convicted felon from nearby New Albany, was identified as the owner of the sweatshirt. He was out on parole at the time of the crime, having been convicted of committing a series of armed attacks on women, several of them involving the theft of shoes. Oh, he's a feet guy, huh? Mm-hmm. The most recent attack was an armed robbery and attempted abduction of 3 women at gunpoint. Some cases, there was evidence of stalking. Some of Boney's previous victims, I think it's Bonnet, right?
It's Boney, man.
Some of his previous victims have reported receiving harassing phone calls for a couple of months prior to the attacks, asking them what they were wearing, if they were wearing high-heeled shoes.
He's a weirdo. He had previously admitted to police that he had a foot fetish, a detail he later discussed with numerous news outlets.
Wow.
This detail was suspicious to the defense. Number one, Camm's shoes were removed and lined up neatly on the top of the vehicle in the midst of a messy crime scene.
Oh.
Camm had a series of bruises and abrasions on the top of both of her feet. And Boney was interviewed and took a polygraph in which he was determined to be deceptive.
Oh, jeez.
He denied any involvement, though, claiming he donated the sweatshirt to charity and was cleared as a suspect.
I don't even know why they do polygraphs. It's not even admissible in court.
But he's cleared as a suspect.
How?
Oh. 2 weeks later, his palm print was discovered on Kim's vehicle, and he was arrested.
What? How did it not? Whoever.
This is the most. Oh my.
Indiana, I'm sorry, Indiana, but you guys are freaking terrible at doing crime scenes. Holy shit! You guys need to take a page out of the book of Ace Ventura.
These are
when Nature Calls.
These are almost as worse as the John Bonet investigator guys.
Man, the other DNA sample was later identified as belonging to Mala Singh Mattingly, Boney's then girlfriend. It was discovered after his arrest that Stan Faith, the prosecutor in Camm's first trial, was Boney's attorney. What? What the freak is going on in this little town? During questioning, Boney asked to be represented by Faith, but was told it was a conflict of interest, obviously. Boney admits to having discussed the case with Faith prior to becoming a suspect in the case. When asked about the failure, this is already a mistrial. When asked about the failure of his office to identify Boney, Faith denied any intentional wrongdoing, stating, "I regret it. I deeply regret it. But the myth that's growing out of this is false."
I'm sure it's all around town that this guy's trying to cover up his client's part in the murder.
This dude is a terrible Saul Goodman.
Right. Boney gave a number of conflicting confessions before he finally settled on one in which he was lured. He says he was lured to the Camm residence under the guise of selling David a gun.
Oh, really?
He admitted to placing the shoes on the vehicle, but claims he did it only coincidentally and not related to his foot fetish.
Why would he even touch the shoes?
Right.
So he didn't do it?
He said he put them on there.
Right. So he didn't do the murders?
That's what he's saying. He claims that on September 28th, he arrived at 7 p.m. to meet Camm at his house to sell him a weapon, a meeting they arranged through chance meetings and without the use of a telephone, supposedly. He hands Camm the weapon, wrapped in his gray sweatshirt that was later found at the crime scene. Within seconds, Kim arrives home in a Bronco. Camm follows the Bronco into the garage, and Boney hears 3 shots fired. Boney alleges that Camm then attempted to shoot him and stated, "You did this."
Oh. He claims that the gun either jammed or ran out of bullets. With Camm holding a now non-functioning weapon, Boney ran after Camm, chasing him back into the garage. Camm entered the house, but Boney tripped and fell over Kim's shoes, which were off of her feet on the garage floor. Boney then stated that he picked up the shoes and placed them atop the Bronco.
Why would he do that?
Right. He then leaned against the vehicle to look at Brad and Jill, who were inside the vehicle, deceased. He explains that this is why his handprint was found on the vehicle. In a note, based on testimony from other prosecution witnesses, Kim, Brad, and Jill were still alive at the pool until 7:15.
So he couldn't have possibly seen Kim pull up at 7 p.m.
The timeline given by Boney of the shooting shortly after 7 also conflicts with the prosecution's timeline, which aligns with the medical examiner's estimation of an 8 p.m. time of death. There's nothing here that questions the dad or the husband, and everything points to this guy already. Right. Aside from Boney's story, no additional evidence has been recovered to connect Camm and Boney.
After Mattingly's, Boney's girlfriend's DNA was identified, she was interviewed regarding her knowledge. She told police that Boney returned home after midnight on the night of the murders. She says he was breathing really hard, excited somewhat. She said that he showed her a gun, had a bloody scraped knee, and was sweating profusely. The next morning, she says Boney asked her and his mother to watch news coverage regarding the murders. She testified that she left the room to shower while he and his mother began arguing. Her blood was found mixed with Brad and Camm's blood on the sweatshirt at the crime scene. What? What is going on?
Right. Are these guys like drug addicts or something? Following Boney's arrest in the year 2005, Camm and Boney were charged as co-conspirators.
How are you these guys are idiots, dude.
Wow. Co-conspirators in the murders. Boney was tried first, convicted, sentenced to 225 years in prison. Holy shit. Camm's trial began on the 17th of January, year 2006. With the extramarital affairs now inadmissible, new Floyd County prosecutor Keith Henderson, a Republican who had defeated Democrat Stan Faith, and who cares, he argued that Camm had been molesting his daughter and killed his wife and children to cover up the crime. Oh my gosh. Why would you even think of anything like that? Unless there was, like, evidence. The evidence was a single blunt force. The evidence was a single blunt force trauma to Jill's genitals.
Well, a medical examiner who testified for the defense disagreed with the state's theory that it was a result of sexual abuse, arguing the child's hymen was intact, and it was just one of many blunt force trauma injuries sustained by being struck during the fatal attack.
All right.
The prosecution presented Boney's story that Camm was a shooter, but Boney was there to sell Camm a gun. Camm was convicted a second time, March 3rd, 2006, sentenced to life without parole.
Such bullshit.
And once again, he appealed the conviction, citing the prejudicial nature of the molestation allegations. It's got to be, I'd sue for like defamation and shit too. And the lack of evidence linking the injuries to him.
Right.
The Indiana Supreme Court granted a second reversal, stating, missing from this record is any competent evidence of the premise that this defendant molested the child.
Oh my gosh, so who is this judge? Is it the same judge?
I think so.
Oh my freaking goodness, this is just
everybody involved in the prosecution of this guy needs to buy.
Right. Wow. The motive alleged by the prosecution in the third trial was the life insurance policy. And you didn't have this information before. Now you're just going down the line.
Just trying to, what else could you have done it for?
Ugh,
So stupid,
The
dude.
phone payment was
I don't even know
late.
why the judge is even allowing a new trial.
And the wife missed a credit card payment, so he was pissed because his credit score went down 5
So
points.
dumb.
Wow. Well, anyway, they say the life insurance policy is purchased by Camm. This is the motive. Boney testified against Camm for the very first time, accusing him of luring him out of the home before shooting his own family and then turning the gun on him. The third trial saw the introduction of new DNA evidence that was not presented in the first two trials. Why? Dr. Richard Eichelboom testified that he found touch DNA consistent with Boney in several places on the clothing of both Kim and Jill Camm. Boney's DNA was found on Kim Camm's underwear, on the arm of her shirt, above an abrasion on her arm, thought to be the result of the struggle with her killer. Kim's broken off a fingernail, and on the stomach of Jill Camm's shirt.
Jeez.
So this guy's got DNA all
Everywhere.
over the damn place.
Everywhere.
Why wasn't this put in? How did it take 3 trials to get all this evidence into one? I don't understand.
Well, this is new DNA evidence, apparently.
Yes.
These results seem to discredit. They do discredit Boney's assertion that he never touched the victims.
Right.
Defense co-counsel Stacy Uliana argued that if Boney physically attacked the family, which the DNA seemed to suggest, it was unlikely that Camm was the shooter.
What about these people that he was playing basketball with? They just don't have they didn't never testify or anything?
Not only that, right, the first trial, they didn't say, no, he was literally playing basketball the whole 2 hours. Right. It would have been impossible for him to sneak out, drive home, kill 3 people,
right,
come back and just play basketball again.
Right.
With the touch DNA evidence placing Boney in a more active role in the crime, prosecution introduced yet another theory of the crime near the end of the third trial when Judge Jonathan Dart made a controversial ruling that the jury instructions could include an instruction allowing the jury to find Camm guilty if they believed he quote-unquote aided and abetted Boney during the murder. This dude is trying to get this guy put into prison.
Jury's not supposed to do stuff if they believe. You got to do it on evidence.
Sad.
Oh my! What the frick is this? It's nothing but mistrials. I hope this guy sued the shit out of these sons of bitches. I hope he's a rich man right now. This instruction applied if he turns out to be innocent. This instruction applied if the jury believed Camm had involvement in the moitas, but was not the shooter. The defense strenuously objected to the inclusion of this instruction, citing not only the complete lack of evidence that Camm had ever even met Boney, but that the instruction violated the law against double jeopardy.
Sure was.
Camm had been, maybe you can do it in like civil court or something, right? Wrongful death. Camm had been acquitted on conspiracy charges during the second trial.
Right, so therefore can't do that no more.
Louisville defense attorney Steve Romines, he criticized the move stating that this aiding and abetting, they don't have any evidence to support it. It's really inconsistent with their proof. That means this judge is who's this judge?
Hopefully it's somebody that's not on the panel no more.
Oh my gosh.
Camm's defense attorneys argued this new theory of the crime essentially threw out the blood spatter evidence, the only major piece of forensic evidence tying Camm to the crime. Following the verdict, Richard Camm stated all of a sudden to say, well, if all of our evidence is wrong, go ahead and convict him anyway.
Right.
This jury was a smart jury. They clearly saw through that.
Oh, this next one?
Because,
the last one?
Yeah, October 23rd, 2013, the jury found Camm not guilty of all charges.
No shit.
Camm's attorney described it as vindication. By then, it was reported that costs had reached an estimated $4.5 million.
Holy shit.
To do this. All of this shit. That should come out of every single one of those prosecutions' pay.
You ain't kidding. Well, the public reaction, because 50% are dumb and 50% actually know.
Right.
The verdict was mixed reaction. Many Louisville and southern Indiana residents who lived through the extensive media coverage were surprised by the not guilty verdict. How?
Those are idiots.
In reaction to the verdict, a local resident stated, a lot of people are, just like I am, completely shocked. And a lot of people think that he should not be out. Well, you're an idiot.
Did you watch the trial?
Right. Nationally, the Camm case had garnered a lot of attention from wrongful conviction advocacy groups who believe that the previous convictions were miscarriages of justice.
They were.
Holy
Bill
shit.
Lamb, president and general manager of WDRB, which is the Fox affiliate in Louisville, issued a public apology to Camm, which stated, 7 years ago, I did a point of view criticizing David Camm's attorneys for seeking yet another appeal right after his second conviction for the murder of his family. I wondered when Indiana taxpayers would get to stop paying fortunes in trial expenses and why any accused killer could possibly deserve so many do-overs. Well, now we have the answer. When they're not guilty, that's when.
Oh, shit.
Now, good for you, bud.
Right.
After the third trial, a juror, in response to the question, which was, do you think that they intentionally wanted to convict an innocent man? The juror responded, I would hope not, but I sensed that the state police had a hard time admitting that they had made a mistake. That's exactly what was
right.
See,
yep.
This dude either wouldn't do some dirty shit like the rest of the cops that when he was on the state police, or told on somebody, or did something to piss somebody off.
They didn't like him.
Or cheated with somebody's wife or something, since he was clearly proven to be a...
Very possible, dude. He could have been
man.
He could have been one of those dirty-ass cops.
Well, I doubt it. I'm sure that would have came out.
Yeah, definitely, right. Well, no, because they don't want to
That's true.
expose themselves.
Either or, they wanted him in jail.
Right. The case had been... I'm surprised they didn't murder him.
Well,
I guess he was in prison. Easily done. The case had been covered widely in the media. I don't remember. January 2014, Dateline NBC aired a 2-hour special entitled Mystery on Lockhart Road. Well, maybe I do remember. No. And the case had been covered 3 times on 48 Hours on CBS.
hey, just one for each trial.
2 books have been written about the case. One was One Deadly Night, and that was published in 2005. And Searching for Justice, that was in 2013. As well as a chapter in Zane Velez Mitchell's book.
Yeah, Zane, definitely, and that's how you pronounce it, Jay.
Jane Velez Mitchell's book, Secrets Can Be Murder, The Killer Next Door.
Okay, stupid. The heavy reliance on blood spatter evidence in this case was widely criticized. In his review of the case, former federal prosecutor Kent Wicker said, blood spatter evidence has come under a lot of criticism in the past few years. In 2009, the National Academy of Sciences issued a report criticizing the scientific foundation of that. Okay. The report released by the National Academy of Sciences calls for more standardization within a number of forensic fields, including blood spatter analysis. Probably the first one being make sure the blood spatter analyst is legit, not if you think he is.
Right. we believe that.
The report highlights the tendency of blood spatter analysts to overstate the reliability of their methods in the courtroom. Jeez. So why are they even... As far as I'm concerned, they're just like a polygraph test.
Right.
Bye, inadmissible.
Yep. Sorry.
Stupid.
Dumb.
Clearly the dude was wrong, and yet...
Wow.
Oh, man, this blood. I mean, we don't realize that blood separates after being on the in the air for a couple hours because, you know, we're idiots.
All right. Dr. Robert Shaler, founding director of the Penn State Forensic Science Program, decried blood spatter analysis as unreliable in the Camm case. He says, the problem in this case is the number of stains are minimal. I think you're really on the edge of reliability. Dr. Shaler said that bloodstain pattern analysis as a science is essentially guesswork.
It's called science.
All right. Hypothesize. The problem with blood spatter analysts is that you do not have the supporting underlying science to back up your conclusions.
Right. You can't prove what it came from.
And you're not going to splatter at the exact same time. It's like
it could be consistent, like it was when they dragged the mannequin or the wig hair across the shirt and it looked the same.
Right. All of the blood spatter analysts involved in the case from the start, aside from Stites, have been experts, quote unquote, in the traditional sense.
What about aside from Stites? That's the guy who they believe to be an expert.
That was the one.
Where did they find him from?
Oh my goodness! The problem is we have two opinions in this case. That is essence in a 50% error rate. So you mean it's a 50-50 toss-up that we got this right? Holy shit! I've never seen anything so bad in my life.
Evidence.
Are you sure the FBI ain't involved?
I don't know. Maybe these guys went on to become. They were probably getting recruited by the FBI after this. Man. Evidence of misconduct regarding the blood spatter was uncovered when, in the third trial, Stites testified for the defense, admitted he had perjured himself in the first two trials. His assertion that the spots on David Camm's shirt were high-velocity impact spray was the cornerstone of the probable cause affidavit that led to Camm's first arrest, and his testimony at the first two trials helped the prosecution win Camm's convictions. He had previously testified that he was an expert blood spatter pattern analyst and a professor at Portland State University, who was in the process of obtaining a PhD, credentials which were fabrications. Oh, how are these guys?
My goodness.
How do you do that? How do you get past that?
Wow. Well, he then asserts that Floyd County prosecutor Stan Faith helped create those fraudulent credentials.
Oh, no. Because he knew Boney was the one that did it.
They don't, yeah.
And he wanted to get the freaking, he wanted Camm to get arrested for it so his guy could get off.
Right.
Dude's a fucking piece of shit.
During the third trial, he outlined how he was sent to the crime scene by Rod Englert to photograph and take notes. Despite his lack of formal training in the field or work experience as a crime scene analyst, his notes ended up being used in the probable cause affidavit, with him being listed as a crime scene reconstructionist.
Oh, jeez.
A title that did not apply to him whatsoever. Something's going on with this Indiana State Police unit, the precinct there.
To be honest,
maybe they're going to get closed down because they're not doing like the movie Super Troopers.
Right. To be honest with you,
something ain't right.
This dude's defense lawyers are a bunch of idiots too for not questioning all this stuff.
The defense pointed out several aspects of Stites' notes that were later proven to be false, including his HVIS on the garage door, which was a splatter, later proven to be a petroleum-based product and not even blood. Are you freaking serious?
So that clearly wasn't tested.
Oh my gosh.
Stites' opinion that there was a cleanup at the crime scene involving bleach was also incorrect. The confusion came from the unfamiliar look of the blood after the serum had been separated from the blood cells.
You can easily dab it and you can tell if there's any chemicals on it when you run it through forensics. Not that hard.
Regarding his actions, he commented, "It was a dumb thing. In hindsight, no shit. I would have kept my mouth shut." Stites was not charged with perjury for his testament in the previous two trials because of course he wasn't.
All right. Oh my goodness. Jeez. A number of legal experts have criticized the way the case was handled. Damn right. Even unlegal experts. Thomas Scornhorse, a professor emeritus of the Indiana University's Maurer School of Law. He said that cases had been overturned repeatedly because they have pushed the envelope with other evidence, fearing that they would not get a conviction on bloodstain evidence alone.
Right, and in this case, they...
Right. Sean Boyne of Indiana University's Robert H. McKinney School of Law highlighted the Camm trials as an example of the problem.
Why does Indiana have 2 school of laws?
There's a lot of school of laws.
In the same university?
Oh, right. He highlighted that the Camm's trials is an example of the problems within American justice
Yeah, no
system.
shit. We're
These little
corrupt
small
ones,
towns.
at
How big
least.
is this town?
Dude, this is like the state court.
Right, but how big is the town this happened in? He has to be at least getting tried in that county.
Oh, not necessarily. Georgetown, Indiana. It's 3,800 people.
38. So it's a tiny ass town.
But it was probably the county that he got charged in.
Right.
So Floyd County would be, I mean, they have 80,000 people.
Oh, that's not nothing. So it's a little town that everybody knows everybody. It's a little county. Everybody knows everybody. Something's going on here.
I don't like it.
Something's going on here. Yep.
He knew something. Did something, knew something.
Yeah, and it's a border town too. Between that and Kentucky or Mizzou,
Louisville.
yeah, Kentucky.
Or they did it in Louisville, I believe. That's where the trial was. I better see something end with one of these prosecutors getting fucking found. Okay. Well, Boyne stated judges in these trials allowed the prosecutors to present spacious claims of motive designed to paint the defendant with a broad stroke of guilt and moral condemnation and overcome a lack of physical evidence.
I mean, anybody would know, especially a judge, that none of this is
You would
withstanding. I don't even understand something like it's usually like something's going on.
Yeah, this is actually state level court.
Right. Something's going on.
Boyne stated the state overreached, and that overreaching did not serve the cause of justice. Louisville defense attorney Steve Romines criticized the prosecution's decision to change the theory of the crime numerous times instead of dropping the charges altogether. He says the problem is, in the first trial, David Camm's the shooter and acted alone. In the second trial, David Camm's the shooter and Boney aided and abetted him. And now in this one, Boney is the shooter and David Camm aided and abetted him. In 3 trials with the same proof, they've had 3 different theories. Proof doesn't change. If you have proof beyond a reasonable doubt, you argue the same thing throughout. You don't have to constantly shift your theory to fit your proof. Right. Where's this guy at? Why didn't he come out when it was happening?
Right. Camm's defense team has long been critical of their inability to present evidence of Boney's involvement, particularly when the prosecution was allowed to speculate about Camm's motives. Right. Despite Boney's history of stalking and armed violence against women, his past crimes were ruled inadmissible. How?
But they brought in 13 women to testify that this guy was trying to hook up with him. David Camm. That's sad.
By the third trial, the backbone of the defense's case was the evidence of police and prosecutorial misconduct in the case. The defense argued that the investigation was riddled by critical mistakes, both in the collection of evidence and in investigation of Boney as a suspect, which was all correct.
The sweatshirt found at the crime scene revealed Boney's DNA, which we know, his girlfriend's DNA, his prison nickname. Damn, his nickname was Backbone? Oh, geez. And his Department of Corrections ID number was even on it.
Oh, my goodness.
Camm's shoes were also lined up, yes. Boney has a long history of foot fetish, yes. It's unclear how the investigative team missed these pieces of evidence during the initial investigation. They didn't.
They didn't miss them.
The defense team was told that the evidence had been thoroughly investigated.
Oh, sure they did. That's what you call thorough.
Why is it...
And the guys don't even know what petroleum jelly is the difference between blood.
I guess the defense couldn't do nothing about it because they weren't given this evidence. That's sad, dude.
That's right. They should have been able to go there and do the crime scene as well.
Sad.
The defense argued that the police should have also taken notice when Boney's story went through so many revisions, obviously. They noted that many details of a story were first adjusted by police detectives in recorded interviews, notably the detail regarding the gun wrapped in a sweatshirt.
So what'd you do? They're probably like, so what'd you do? Wrap it in the sweatshirt?
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah. Other details.
But I thought you donated it to charity.
No, I thought I did. There was another one.
Stupid.
Other details of the story were changed following discussions with detectives who pointed out the discrepancies. Defense witness Dr. Camm Rosmo, a criminal justice professor at Texas State University, testified that Boney was never investigated properly and that his claims were never independently verified. Right, they just took him for his word.
Instead of treating Boney like a suspect, they treated him as an anomaly to their theory that somehow had to be explained away.
Oh, my goodness.
Adding, I think there were 6 different confessions from Mr. Boney. I don't think Mr. Boney ever told the truth about what happened. He's only telling the police enough to get around the last particular contradiction.
All right.
He testified that the majority of the oversights during the investigation were caused by confirmation bias. which is a tendency to believe information that confirms your preconceived notions and place less weight on information that doesn't. Yeah. No. That doesn't align with what I think. That can't be true.
It's supposed to be an open and shut case here, guys.
Sad. That is sad. This Camm dude better have sued the shit out of this state.
Right. Damn. Rosmo argued that the police were swayed by the early misleading evidence and came to the conclusion that Camm was guilty before any of the forensic evidence was even examined. He also believes that this phenomenon caused investigators to ignore the DNA on the sweatshirt. And when Boney was finally identified, they downplayed the significance and attempted to make it fit within their established theory of the crime, which we all have seen. Ultimately, the jurors in the third trial believed the defense's criticism of the investigation. They tried to make the evidence fit their theory of the case, a juror said in an interview.
Well, it's sad that it took 3 juries to do it.
Right, it is Indiana.
Lead defense attorney Richard Camm accused police of feeding Boney a false story designed to implicate Camm and coerce Boney into testifying against Camm by playing on his fear of racial prejudice with the criminal justice system by telling him that a black man... Well, he's black.
No shit.
It's the first time I'm hearing about that.
Right. That's crazy.
Right. By telling him... Right. And they didn't even try to convict him. Right. What the hell's going on in Indiana? You know this shit's fucked. By telling him that a black man accused of killing a white family would get the death penalty if he didn't cooperate. I don't think Indiana has death penalty. Maybe they do.
Maybe.
During interrogations, he was reminded on several occasions of the likelihood of getting the death penalty on the basis of his race, and that the best way to avoid it was to testify against Camm.
Oh, wow.
Dude, they're like, oh my.
Were they scared? They didn't want like an uprising?
Where?
Because there was a black guy. Southern Indiana, Northern Kentucky.
Where is all... Well, this is 2000. That shit wasn't happening then.
Right.
It's not like it is now. Where is all this interrogation video? Nobody saw none of that?
They probably didn't even record it.
It's sad.
The defense cited a suspicious series of undocumented and unrecorded phone calls, 33 in all, between Boney and the Floyd County Prosecutor's Office. What? In the 2-week span between his DNA being identified and his arrest. Are you serious? That right there is that's just so many mistrials. Dude, this is ridiculous. Another allegation that surfaced involved a distant relative of Boney named Myron Wilkerson, who lived until 2012. Poor guy. Wilkerson was a police officer, but was not assigned to the case. He met with Boney privately at the station following his arrest. How? 2 months later, it was learned that Wilkerson had removed Kim Camm's phone from the evidence room without signing it out and taken it to his residence. When the phone was located and returned to Popo, it was found to have been wiped clean of fingerprints. Wilkerson was not charged with evidence tampering. Why wasn't he not charged with evidence tampering? He took a freaking evidence of a murder case
and not
even his department.
And guess what? He tampered with it.
And he tampered with, oh my gosh, what was on that cell phone?
The fingerprints.
Right.
That's what he was wiping away, because clearly they would have found Boney's fingerprints on that too.
Oh my goodness, this is just stupidity.
In addition to testimony by Rob Stites alleging subornation of perjury, several other allegations of witness tampering surfaced during the case. Lynn Scamahorn, DNA analyst from the Indiana State Police, claimed that during the first trial, the prosecutor at this time, Stan Faith, who we remember is Boney's attorney somehow. I don't know how do you get the prosecutor to be your attorney as well? But he threatened her when she refused to perjure herself and testify that she had found Camm's DNA on Boney's sweatshirt.
Oh, shit.
Fingerprint analyst John Singleton reported a similar encounter. He claims Faith wanted him to shade the truth while testifying regarding the then unidentified palm print on Kim Camm's Bronco that was later determined to belong to Boney.
Something's up here, man.
Yeah, the Stan Faith is a piece of shit.
Yeah, something's going on here that we're missing.
Yeah, Stan Faith is a piece of shit.
Yeah, now I know that Boney has a cousin or family member in the Popo as well. What's going on here? What did Camm know? What did he do? Defense also accused the state of witness tampering and presenting false and misleading testimony regarding the molestation of allegations. Yeah, you can't just say dude molested a child for no damn reason. Now you got everybody calling him a pedophile. During the first trial, the prosecution alleged that the injuries Jill sustained happened during the attack, as testified by the state medical examiner. During the second trial, they altered their timeline to implicate Camm instead of Boney on the basis of testimony by a single witness who changed their theory at the last minute. Dr. Spivak, before in her deposition, told us that the injuries occurred near the time of death due to the painful nature of them. Today, on the stand, she backtracked to fit the state's theory. That was said by a defense attorney, Stacy Uliana. And all these people are involved, too, because they're like...
They're just going along with it.
Right, you have to.
Following the verdict of the second trial, the jurors explained that they made their decision largely on the molestation allegations, and specifically on the testimony of Spivak, who testified that the child was molested several hours prior to her death instead of during.
Get out of here.
DNA analyst Lynn Scamahorn claimed prosecutor Faith also attempted to get her to commit perjury by testifying that lab results indicated the comforter from the master bedroom in the Camm household contained vaginal secretions from saliva from Jill to help bolster their claims that Jill had been molested. No such test exists.
Right. Man, these guys, what the freak is going on? 13th of December. December 2013, Camm gave his first local media interview following the verdict and attempted to clear up the misconceptions regarding Boney's criminal history. Camm also announced that he had been hired as a case coordinator for Investigating Innocence, a national nonprofit that provides criminal defense investigations for inmates. Camm reports that he was forged by a friendship with the third trial.
He was forged by a friendship?
Camm reports that he has forged a friendship with the third trial jurors.
You bet.
In early December 2013, he met with jurors from the third trial over dinner at a cafe in Lebanon, Indiana.
All right. Well, don't drink the water there now.
Right.
2005, prosecution witness Rod Englert filed a lawsuit against several of the defense witnesses in the libel case that apparently was filed. The lawsuit accused the defense of saying Englert embellished his credentials, misrepresented his qualifications and experience, and provided false testimony in court.
He did.
Englert, this is a different guy. You're thinking of the Stites guy.
Oh.
Englert had testified for the prosecution that Camm had high-velocity blood spatter on the shirt he was wearing the night of the murders. Camm was reportedly facing a civil lawsuit filed by his late wife's parents over the estimated $625,000 Camm is set to collect from life insurance and Camm's 401k fund. Frank and Janice Wren steadfastly maintain their belief in Camm's guilt.
Oh, wow. Of course. Instantly. Wow. You can tell they never liked you.
Obviously never liked that guy, did they?
Right. Wow.
Probably are like sending Boney letters in jail and
Right.
she's making them fucking cookies and shit.
Jeez. Year 2014, month of May. Camm served notice of his intention to sue Floyd County
you better.
and the state of Indiana for $30 million. Camm settled with Floyd County for $450,000. In January 2018, Camm's civil rights lawsuit against members of the Indiana State Police, prosecutors, and other officials was dismissed. Why? By United States District Court Judge Tanya Walton Pratt. Explaining the ruling, the court explained it believed that there had been probable cause to charge. No, there wasn't. And due to Indiana's Tort Claims Act, some of the defendants were immune to liability. Are you freaking out of your mind? That's insane.
I'm guessing the prosecutor and like those type of people would be immune
Right.
to that. Man, it's so dumb,
Not
dude.
the state, though.
The state. And they only settled for $450,000 for Floyd County. I guess that's probably all they could afford.
Right.
September 10th, this dude got screwed.
Dude.
2019, September 10th, the United States Court of Appeals for the 7th Circuit reversed the district court in part, stating, in sum, we reverse and remand for trial on Camm's Fourth Amendment claim against Stites, Englert, Faith, and Clemens to the extent that the claim rests on the first probable cause affidavit. Trial is also warranted on the Brady claim against the same four defendants for suppression of Stites' lack of qualifications,
right,
and against Faith and Clemens for suppression of the facts surrounding their handling of the DNA profile on Boney's sweatshirt.
Damn right.
In all other respects, we affirm the judgment. The reversal allowed Camm to sue for false arrests. A settlement of Camm's final lawsuits was announced April 28, 2022, which I'm guessing is kept private.
Yeah, because it was probably a humongous amount. The case was covered extensively by the media in southern Indiana and also in northern Kentucky, which is Louisville area, and by national news programs, including Nancy Grace.
Oh, you know Nancy Grace was on that shit. She
48
was
hours.
dogging David Camm forever.
You ain't kidding. 48 Hours and Dateline, NBC. The case, I've never watched any of those shows in my life. I can't believe that. It's crazy.
I think I've seen a couple Datelines. 48 Hours.
The case is noted for the extensive allegations of police and prosecutorial misconduct, including Brady violations, witness tampering, evidence tampering, perjury. That's the major one, perjury, I guess evidence tampering.
Probably all of them.
Right. Jeez, an overall shoddy investigation that has been detailed in numerous forensic textbooks.
How not to investigate a crime.
2022, Camm's former defense investigator, Gary M. Dunn, a 27-year FBI agent, released his book, Their Bloody Lies and Persecution of David Camm, Part 1, which details how two sets of ISP investigators jumped to erroneous and then outright false conclusions. Wow, an FBI guy saying this?
All right.
I guess there are some good ones. Assisted by a faux blood strain expert, quote unquote, and supposed crime scene reconstructionist, while being directed by a politicized county prosecutor, Stan Faith. So, all in all, everybody in this, there's like 25 freaking people, probably more. I was just willing to put this guy in jail.
Yeah, but the main one was Stan Faith.
And the judge.
Clearly idiots.
Willing to put this guy in jail for... This guy did something.
Might I point out that Stan Faith was a Democrat?
This guy did something. Camm knew something. He denied. He declined to do something. Was he still a...
No. So
he was retired? Or how did he leave the Indiana state? How old is he?
Settle the fuck down, dude.
He was born in 1964. Yeah, and he wasn't a state police officer back then.
Oh, damn. He was rewarded $3 million.
Damn,
that was just recently.
Hell yeah.
August 23rd. Yeah, so he got awarded $3 million. Good for him.
13 years in prison. That's ridiculous. He lost 13 years of his life for a freaking hit piece. Wow.
$3 million, August 23. August 23rd, yeah.
And it better be non-tax, too.
I doubt that. Jeez, dude. So that means not only did this dude not kill his family.
Why did he retire?
Maybe he retired when this happened. That would be my guess.
Couldn't handle it. Oh, when this happened?
They probably kicked him off.
Oh. Yeah, he knew something.
I would assume.
Was there any controversy going on at Indiana State Police? Yeah, something happened. There had to be a reason why they were so hell-bent on getting this guy in jail. Was it because they haven't solved any crimes lately, or what?
Oh, he had retired as a state trooper 4 months earlier to work in the basement waterproofing business with an uncle.
Ooh, that's a hard job. Why would he do that?
I don't know. He was probably like a big guy, though. Right. He probably never did anything.
Oh, shit.
But anyways, not only did this guy have to come home and find his family murdered, then he had to go through 3 trials of
sit in prison
photos and a retelling of the crime scene and all that shit.
Over and over
again.
And sit in prison and probably get attacked all the time, for being child killers and shit. Oh, my goodness, dude. And being an ex-cop as well. Oh, dude, that's just sad.
August 2023, a Florida judge granted 3 separate $1 million judgments, one for each of the 3 family members killed, to Camm, and ordered Boney to pay for it. Okay.
I hate when they say that.
Well, he's still getting $3 million, though. And that means whatever Boney makes in prison, he ain't getting no commissary or nothing.
Nothing. This was just sick.
Dude. Why didn't the other thing we just read say that? Floyd County settled for $450,000, but the state of Indiana settled its part of the lawsuit for $4.6 million.
Oh.
So this dude got almost $7 million total.
And it states, I acknowledge and regret my actions in 2000.
The settlement had specified that he had to release a statement that said that.
Oh, jeez.
Either or, everybody from top to bottom failed this guy.
Yeah, this is bad.
And it's just sad. He got paid, though. Huh? Good for him.
But still, he lost 13 years of his life.
Well, not to mention his family.
Right, he probably didn't even get to go to the funerals.
I would assume not, because since he was in jail.
That's bullshit, dude. He deserved more than $4 million. Well,
that's fucked up. Murderpedia.org, you got to take this guy off. He's not a murderer.
All right. So that's bullshit. That's just ridiculous. No wonder why nobody trusts the government or any type of law enforcement. You guys can kiss ass. And the thing is, they think money solves everything. Because there's still idiots out in the world today. He'll sit there and they'll still call him a murderer. Wow. So disappointing. So disappointing that there was so much terrible, terrible. Just dumb shit throughout that whole. I mean, from the very first sentence, we're like, this ain't right.
And it's crazy. This could be the most incompetent group of officers or investigators or prosecutors, whatever you want to call them, that we've ever seen, that we've covered so far.
Besides the Wild West bullshit.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That's remind me of a Wild West bullshit.
well, at least the Public Enemy era or Prohibition stuff, they were pretty dumb too.
Yeah.
Boulder, Colorado was pretty dumb as well in the John Bonet case.
That one's stupid.
Yeah. Wow. Well, good for that guy, huh?
Yeah, but still, just the whole 13 years, I can't get over that. Dude lost 13 years of his life. And,
It's glad it only took 13 years.
right? A lot of people are in there forever.
I'm also wondering, they said that this Boney guy used to call his people that he would assault like months before and harass him. Did they do any of that to
Yeah, what's the motive for
Camm's
him
wife?
doing that?
He just walked down the street one day, saw him getting out of the car, and was like, bang, bang, bang.
Right. That don't make no sense. Yeah, that part don't.
Well, he's never said anything.
Right.
As far as I know, he still claims that he's innocent.
Maybe the Camm guy did have something to do with.
Or maybe that prosecutor is just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was sad.
Crazy one.
That was sad. This is what they show out of country to other countries to be like to disparage the United States justice system. Be like, this is how they treat their people over there. Their own people that even worked for them. This is how they treat them. And you think they're going to help you out? No.
Meanwhile, don't get caught in this country with marijuana seed because we'll put you to death. So I don't think any other country has room to talk about our justice system. Well, yep. Crazy.
That was rough.
Yeah. Sad stuff.
Yeah.
Infuriates me for a minute. how just ignorant everybody was on the judge. This judge. I hope this judge is gone. What was the judge? I don't even care anymore. I'm done with it. So, what do you guys think? Leave a comment on the YouTube video or on the Spotify little comment there, and let us know what the hell you think of this bull crap that just went on.
Or if you got any information that we did not have, please let us know.
Well, I don't think they do.
Dying.
They're there.
Dying to know.
Unless somebody's got some that lives in Indiana, that area, that knows something that was shady was going on.
Judge, if you're listening, let us know what the fuck you were thinking.
Right. Allegedly. Like I said, Bang Dang Network on YouTube. Check out all our podcasts and our exclusive Dart League. Leave a review, Apple, Spotify, leave a comment, and we will be back next week for, you know what I'm thinking here? You know what I'm thinking? We got a lot of shootings. Maybe we'll do Gabby Petito. Or maybe we'll do the MSU shooting. Maybe we'll do the Buffalo shooting. Maybe we'll do Robb Elementary. Yeah, because I really want to get pissed. Maybe we'll do the FedEx shooting. Maybe we'll do the Oxford shooting. Maybe we'll do the San Jose shooting. Maybe we'll do Waukesha, the parade psycho
the
guy
that drove through things.
Yeah.
Mostly peaceful driving.
Right. The vehicle killed him. That's the problem looking up stuff from like the 2015s on, because it's just shootings after shootings. I don't know. We got a lot of stuff, so it's probably going to be a shooting of some sort. So there's going to be a gun involved, most likely. It is Outlaws and Gunslingers. Right. We'll be back next week for that.
We are Seal.
We are the Month of Michiganders with
Bang, dang.